Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and like I said, as I said that I was gonna, as part of for me reaching 10,000 subscribers, I was gonna do something I haven't done in this year. Be going on 7 years, so I said which I've never done, which I didn't think why I didn't think about this before though, but whatever. But I'm gonna showcase my entire DVD collection. Now you probably see, of course, you see probably over the course of my whole room. I have cases and cases all around here, from there over here. So I'm slowly just gonna show every DVD I have. It's gonna definitely be in parts because to do all in one video is gonna take like freaking 2 hours. So I'm just gonna do this all in parts. So start with what I have from the very beginning, which I have all my entire DVD collection, or library, I should say. I have it all in perfectly arrangement from genre, all in each genre in alphabetical order. So start what I have here from the very beginning, right from this shelf right here, starting with the horror section. That's how I got all these shelves. I started in horror, so. Horror, all in alphabetical order. That's how I like to keep it organized, So starting off over here with so let's get right down to it. So starting with the first sections here, the top shelf. Yeah, wondering. See these? I put these tags on there just so what genre it is. So starting with the horror, so I got the first few right here. So starting off, 28 Days Later. Then the sequel, 28 weeks later. Then get to 30 Days of Night. Then of 1408. Good Stephen King one. Abominable with Matt McCoy, Jeffrey Combs. That's a good Bigfoot movie, you'd say. Then moving on to with Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter. Then one film that I thoroughly enjoy a lot, Alligator from 1980, although very crappy looking DVD cover. I wish they would use the one they used for the poster, which you've seen. I have the poster that used to be up there, so I wish they used a poster for this, but this is a very shitty DVD cover. But yeah, I love Alligator. Robert Forster, rest in peace. He passed away last year. So Alligator. Take this one up so you can put one section here. Goes back. Next, which I just reviewed, very shitty film, especially from director Uwe Ball. I just reviewed it. Alone in the Dark. American Werewolf in London. The original of the Amityville Horror. Then you got the remake of the 2005 remake. Not a fan of. This one I enjoy. It's an underrated creature feature film. Anaconda. Really enjoy this film. Then you get the sequel, which is not all that bad. Time waster at best. I think I reviewed this one. I forget. But Anaconda's The Hunt for the Blood Orchid. Next is we have the trilogy. I just not recently I just picked up the last one. but the trilogy of the Annabelle movies, from the doll of the Conjuring franchise. So the first one, and the second one, Creation, and then came out the one from last year, Annabelle Comes Home. So that's of the Annabelle trilogy of the Conjuring universe. Apollo 18, good idea though, but shitty films, sadly. Good concept, but bad. Typical found footage film, downbeat ending. April Fool's Day, the original 1986 one. Enjoy this one. Another classic. This one, another classic horror one with a little bit of comedy in it. And this is coming from a guy like me who is afraid of spiders. Yeah. So, but arachnophobia. But I enjoy Arachnophobia with Jeff Daniels, John Goodman. Yeah. Considering that I have a fear of spiders, but I enjoy Arachnophobia. And this one, another found footage film. I have not reviewed this one yet though, but I will eventually. It's this is a found footage with dinosaurs, but Area 407. So I'll have to give this a review sometime though. Next, but speaking of yet with another found footage film, this one I did enjoy. This did not have a downbeat ending. As Above, So Below. I enjoyed this one. It's one of the better found footage ones that especially does not have a downbeat ending. So that was a little something different. So I enjoy As Above, So Below. Back County. This bear. As the one actor that I know of is Eric Balfour from Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake and some other films like Skyline. He's in this. That was the one if I was okay, I guess. Bait, which is it's like to sharks in a grocery store basically, because after a hurricane sweeps the city and there's these people are trapped in a grocery store, flooded, and there's sharks in here. And it stars the guy who who's the guy's name? It's the guy who played Doctor Doom in the 2005 Fantastic Four film and the sequel, Rise of the Silver Surfer. So the guy who played Doctor Doom in those, he's in this. This is what else that came out, what was it, last year as well? The Banana Splits movie. Sorry. Which I did not realize was based on Hanna-Barbera show as well. Hanna-Barbera, did Scooby-Doo and the other ones like the Jetsons, Flintstones. I never knew this film. Well, it was a show of this back then because I never seen this film. Although my dad has heard of them though, but they made the show and they made this into a horror film. I think for the fact that they took the idea because they were originally going to do a Five Nights at Freddy's movie, which I think I did a vlog about that like a while back ago. But I guess that fell through and decided to do this instead. So, the next we have Bats, fun movie with Lou Diamond Phillips. I enjoy this film. Lou Diamond Phillips is one of my favorite films of his. I used to grow up watching this quite a few times, rented it on home video. But I enjoy Bats. This is a fun one. This one, another one I grew up watching on TV with my dad. Peter Benchley's The Beast, starring William Peterson from CSI. From the author by Peter Benchley, the author of Jaws, which I do have the book of this. I read it. It's a good book. But I enjoy Peter Benchley's The Beast. And then another one, a horror film I think is underrated as well, which no one hardly ever talks about. But I'll have to give this review sometime as well. Behind the Mask: The Rise of Leslie Vernon. this one there's a horror film that I don't think doesn't get talked about as much. So deserves a little more to be talked about more. So it has Robert Englund in it. Freddy Krueger himself is in this. And if people are wondering, Scott Wilson, he's in this. If anyone who is a fan of the show The Walking Dead, the guy who played Herschel, which he's now sadly passed away, it was last year, I think it was. So he's in this. So if you is a fan of The Walking Dead and a fan of the character of Herschel, he's in this. Along with Robert Englund. So yeah, but this deserves to be talked about more. Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon. Next, which I thought was a pretty decent one, The Belko Experiment, which I reviewed a couple years ago. Which is cool to see the Orion, the old Orion logo, which is going to have a few other films recently, like there was the Child's Play remake that made it as well. It was cool to see the Orion again. Below, which is like a haunted submarine film. The guy who directed Pitch Black, as well as the other sequels. Which is kind of funny. It's quite funny to see Zach Galifianakis in this, from the Hangover films, him starring years before this, starring in a horror film like this. So, but yeah, Below. This film has a insane amount of gore in it, though, but I have to rewatch this again, though. But I remember the gore being like insane in this. Black Sheep. Film in New Zealand, I think it was. Crazy amount of gore, but I think it's just have to pretty much what it has going for it. So Black Sheep. Remake that I'm not a fan of either. Another one I'm not a fan of. Black Christmas. I prefer watching the original, which I don't have the original, but I remember having it back on old VHS though, but got rid of it. But I'll have to get the original though. But here are the remake. Which funny, last year they just did another remake of this, which made less money than this, sadly. So a second remake of this, do we really need that as well? This film did not make that much money either, and it was not that good at all. So, yeah. Now this one I thoroughly enjoyed. It's one of my another horror favorite of mine. It's like one of the best found footage, and was a huge hit back in the day in 1999. The Blair Witch Project. Big fan of this film, and sadly they got two shitty sequels, sadly. But it's one of the best of the found footage. It's definitely like, if people remember, it's probably people say it's the best of the found footage film of the genre. But I love the Blair Witch Project. Which, if I remember, this came out the same weekend as Deep Blue Sea did. I remember the time of the summer of 1999. Yeah. But speaking of that, you got the not so good sequel, Blair Witch 2, The Book of Shadows, and then Blair Witch, directed by Adam Wingard. So, which at least I'm concerned because this director, he directed this shitty film, and it makes me offended as a fan of the first Blair Witch. But this guy's going to go on and direct the Godzilla vs. King Kong movie. I'm a little concerned because I'm not a fan of Your Next. I did not like this movie. And like I said before, I did not see the live-action version of Death Note, though, but I've heard a lot of bad things about it, so... But if I go up as a fan of Godzilla, I'll go up and see. I will give that film a chance, so maybe he'll do a good job with that film. Maybe, so... But, no, not this movie. This film freaking sucked. Next. We go with Bless the Child, directed by Chuck Russell, who going to direct which the next film I have here in my hand, which I love to death. But I thought this was a pretty decent film, Bless the Child, with starring Kim Basinger. So yeah. So we got here the original of The Blob with Steve McQueen, which is, if I recall, it's the only horror film he's done. But yeah, I like Steve McQueen. The Blob, the original The Blob, I still think it's okay. Still, I never hated this the original. My brother loves this one, but I remember I'm not hating the Blob, the original, because I like Steve McQueen. But speaking with Chuck Russell, to me, I think the remake is better than the original. It's one of those cases I think the remake is better than the original to me. I love the remake of The Blob to death. It's not only one of my favorite remakes, but also one of my all-time favorite horror films as well. And which they have the original DVD here, but what I just got a while ago. Here's the Scream from Scream Factory, the collector's edition Blu-ray of The Blob, which I thought it was a pretty cool art cover here. Love this film to death. I love the cast: Kevin Dillon, Shawnee Smith. Excellent effects by by Lyle Conway, who helped the creature effects design and created by Lyle Conway. Yep, love the effects in this film, music, and which has all the features I thought were very, very good with interviews with the cast. Sadly, except for Kevin Dillon, though, which I don't know why he chose not to do. Because I would love to hear his thoughts on this. If he's proud of him. Because the cast members who are in this film, they say they're very proud of the movie, which is good though. But I would love to see Kevin Dillon's thoughts on it if he's proud of the film. Sadly, I mean, he has the right to say no if he wants to, though. But I just would love to hear his thoughts on this. That's the only flaw with this Blu-ray collector's edition is Kevin Dillon. Why? I just wanted to say, are you proud of the film? That's good then. But I think I'm pretty sure he does. I mean, if everybody in the cast here are saying they are proud of the movie, as well as the cast and crew members, I'm pretty sure that he is proud of the film, because I can only hope so. But I love the Blob remake, one of my all-time favorites. Then we have the sequel here to the original The Blob, called Beware the Blob from 1972. Then we have here, I think this is one from probably on debut on the Sci-Fi Channel, but Blood Lake. Christopher Lloyd is in this. See right there? Where is he? Right there. I think Christopher Lloyd is in this. But yeah, I think it's not all that great though. But Blood Lake. Next is one called Blood Moon. Tim Curry is in this, and what was it? I think it was Leslie Ann Warren. I think it was Leslie Ann Warren. I think it was who played Miss Scarlet in Clue, which also had Tim Curry in it. Shawn Ashmore is in this as well. Played what was his name? Iceman from the X-Men movies. So that. Next, another shitty Uwe Ball film, Blood Rain, which this contains not only a DVD but a PC video game of it. Yeah. Man. Get to that some other time later. Blood Surf. Sorry. Blood Surf, I thought it was a okay crocodile film. okay, not great though, but okay. Bone Tomahawk is a western horror film starring Kurt Russell. You got Patrick Wilson, Matthew Fox, Richard Jenkins. And you clearly have David Arquette as well, and even Sig Haig from working with Rob Zombie all the time. I know he passed away last year as well. So yeah, Bone Tomahawk. Then I have the killer compilation of Boogeyman. You have all the Boogeyman from the past years, like from we got Freddy, Jason, Leatherface, Mike Myers, Chucky, Pinhead, Leprechaun. You know, the collaboration of the Boogeyman from the years ago. Which I thought was something that me and my brother liked this one. But yeah, Boogeyman. From last year, Brightburn, a superhero horror film that James Gunn produced. Get this review sometime down the road. And then next one, under which they solid trailer for this that came out like what was it, last week or so. Not interested though, even though Jordan Peele is involved in it though, but. Not interested. Another remake though, but to me, I'll stick with the original Candyman. Which I know there's also think that Tony Todd is also gonna be in the remake, but he's not playing Candyman though. But I mean, you can't. Whoever's playing Candyman, you think it's gonna give that creepy presence that Tony Todd had, you know, especially when he was in that scene in the car garage with Virginia Madsen. He's like, and he's sitting there, you know. What was her character's name? Helen. I was like, Helen, be my victim. I mean, you can't hear that creepy voice of Tony Todd presence that he has. Yeah, so whoever's playing Candyman in the remake is not gonna have that same like menacing presence that Tony Todd has. Next, this is just the first shelf. Next, so I get through this try fast and good though. The Car from the what was it, the year 1970? I think it was 1977. Starring James Brolin, you know, father to actor Josh Brolin, and you have young Ronnie Cox is in this as well. So The Car. Then we have the Carnosaur trilogy. Which I like, the Carnosaur trilogy. Not Raptor. That's considered the fourth one. That was a very shitty film. Which all I took was stock footage from all three of these films. So, yeah. The next we have of the original of Carrie. Stephen King's Carrie. So this is basic in the acting debut for John Travolta in the film, in his motion picture debut. And now we get into the second shelf now. Next, speaking with the original Carrie, have the 2013 remake of Carrie. Another bad remake, but although I will say though that Chloe Grace Moretz, I thought she was pretty decent as Carrie, as well as Julianne Moore as the crazy mother though. But that's just about it though. I mean, it's not another bad horror remake. But I thought by Julianne Moore and Chloe Grace Moretz, I thought they were not bad in the movie though, but just wasn't a good film altogether. Next, with Cat People, Stephen King's Cat's Eye, which I thought was another great horror anthology film. The Cave. Then this one, I really do enjoy. I think it's one of the best of ghost movies. The Changeling, starring George C. Scott. I enjoy The Changeling, so that's one of the better ghost stories. Now we get into a franchise, another franchise now. So, what the next one is the Child's Play franchise. Yep. The first one, classic. And, from last year, the remake, which I enjoy, was one of my favorites. So it goes to show there's still a chance of a remake that I enjoy, but 90% of them suck, though. But I enjoy this remake. It wasn't a carbon copy of the original. It did something a bit different. I enjoy the remake. You can check my review of that. But as the sequel goes, Child's Play 2, very solid sequel. And to me, the last of the good Child's Play films, to me, the third one. Because now, moving on to Bride of Chucky, which I've come liking less and less every day now. As I know, a while back when I reviewed it, it wasn't a rant though. But more of my interest is down now every day. If I revisit this film again, it would be a rant because to me, I don't like Jennifer Tilly, and I love the whole comedy route, and there was all the self parodies it was referencing. To me, it's just like this, and just instead of going the comedy route. So, if I did a video on this one, it'd be a rant. But this, now we get into the more into the shit of this. Seed of Chucky. Don Mancini. Man, shitty film. Then we have Curse of Chucky, bad. And then I gotta review this one, but it'll be a huge rant. But I haven't reviewed it though. But Cult of Chucky, Don Mancini, god dang. And I'm sorry to say that this film is better than Bride of Chucky or all the ones that Don Mancini directed. I'm not even exaggerating. I'm sitting here with a straight face. Better than Bride of Chucky, better than Seed, Cult, or Curse of Chucky. Saying that with a straight face right now. I'm not even exaggerating on that. Go next to another franchise. Stephen King's Children of the Corn. Then we have a double feature here of the second and the third film. Although this one I don't have the fourth one though, but number 5, and I don't have 6 or the other one, the ones afterwards. So I have to get those other ones. But next of the Children, another good one I enjoy. Chopping Mall, which I think I heard a while back they were gonna do a remake of it, but this time with mannequins. Stupid. But stick with this. Chopping Mall. This one is one of my favorite of the Stephen King movies. Directed by John Carpenter. Christine. Stephen King's Christine. I reviewed this one. It's my favorite of the Stephen King movies. And especially well directed by my all-time favorite directors, John Carpenter. Then next we have Chud. Got another good creature feature film. Then we have Cloverfield, which is another good one, a good found footage film. Even though despite its downbeating, I still like Cloverfield. Everything is the awful down. Next, but is a sequel, 10 Cloverfield Lane. Then these two, which sadly they're going to do a third one, which was not needed because the second film ended it perfectly. Man, what people will ever freaking learn. And then when the third film comes out, it's gonna mess up. It's gonna mess up the ending. I guarantee it. But the collector, and then the collection. So that's what I mean. They're gonna make a third film with Josh Stewart coming back. I know I heard Tom Atkins was gonna be cool though, but still, you do not need a third film. The second film ended it perfectly. That the character of Arkin getting back at the collector, lock him in that trunk, and smash his fingers, like fuck you, fuck you. You don't need a third film because now with a third film, I'm already guessing now it's gonna mess up the ending of the second film, and Josh Stewart's gonna die. I guarantee it. They do that a lot. Don't make the third film, please. But I still enjoy these two films. Next we with the film that started out this franchise. The first Conjuring. And then The Conjuring 2. Which the future somewhere they're going to make a third film. Then the next one from came out last year as well called Countdown, which is an app that can tell what days, hours you are before you die. Then we have The Craft. Next is my favorite horror film of last year, which I thoroughly enjoyed. Crawl, another one of that killer alligator films, with our two leads that did a really good job together, and well directed by Alexander Aja, the director of the Hills of Eyes remake. Really enjoyed this film. It was my favorite horror film of last year. I enjoyed Crawl. Next of the original of The Crazies, directed by George A. Romero, and then we have the remake, the 2010 remake. Next is another one from Peter Benchley, Creature, starring Craig T. Nelson and Kim Cattrall. Then Crocodile, which is from director Tobe Hooper, not good, sadly. Then another one from Stephen King, we have Creepshow. Then next is Cry Wolf. And then another Stephen King film I thought was another great one I enjoy, Cujo. Really enjoyed Cujo. It's another great Stephen King film. Then, this is the next one of the Conjuring universe, from last year, The Curse of La Llorona. Next, sadly, rest in peace, Wes Craven, but this is not a good film. Cursed. Next is a film called Damn Sharks. Then we have The Darkness. And then Dark Waters. Then one of my all-time favorite zombie films, the George A. Romero's Dawn of the Dead. And then one of the better horror remakes, Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead. So you got my favorite zombie film of the original Dawn of the Dead, and then we got the great remake, I would say, Dawn of the Dead, from director Zack Snyder. And finishing off of this shelf now. Next is a vampire film I did not mind, Daybreakers. Then next we have George A. Romero's original, Day of the Dead. Then the very shitty remake of Day of the Dead. Hate that one. That's one of the worst remakes. Then we have Dead Rising, Watchtower, which is from the video game, which I enjoyed, Dead Rising. The game, not the movie. Then we have Dead Silence. Then Dead Snow. Deal with the Nazi zombies, which is something that my brother liked. Stephen King's Dead Zone. My favorite films with Christopher Walken. Another good ghost one, Death Ship. Then you have these, which is crazy though, but Decoys 1 and 2. Which is quite funny. These two films, the stars of the kid who was from Goosebumps, from Night in Terror Tower, the young one, Eddie. It's funny though, really, he's in these. But yeah. And now moving down forward here on the third shelf now, which this is like 35 minutes in. This is gonna take a long time. So, well, I guess I know what I'm gonna be doing for the next week. I would say, because this is gonna take several parts. It might take like, I don't know. I'm guessing maybe 20 parts. So it's gonna take a while. Maybe I just be able to go a lot faster if I just showcase and instead of talking about each film that I enjoy. But still, I can do what I want, so it's my video. Now we're moving on now. The third shelf now. But moving on, next to I have a film that I really do love. Grew up, I had a great time seeing this in the theater. Deep Blue Sea. Which you guys say the poster of right there. Love Deep Blue Sea. This is my second favorite shark film, behind Jaws, of course. But this one here is an all-time favorite film for me. I've talked about this numerous times, and you've seen the poster. It's right over there. Love this film to death. One of my all-time favorite creature feature films. Highly underrated. Deep Rising. Love this film to death. And speaking of with that DVD, I got the collector's edition Blu-ray of Deep Rising. I'm always constantly talking about this film. I love this film to death. One of my all-time favorites. Love the cast. Yeah, like I said before, the CG of the creature still. I think it does not hold up from 1998 though, but still, I can let it go. But because you have a lead like Treat Williams with a badass line like, "What are you looking at?" Just shooting the creature in the eye. Badass he was. Love this one to death though. But like I said, I'm willing to let the go of the CG of the creature because I love this one to death. So I'm always keep on constantly talking about this film, especially when I did my first fan commentary on that film. You can check it out. Yeah. But next is another good one from Under the Sea, Deep Star 6. Then we have Deliver Us from Evil, which I enjoy, from director Scott Derrickson. Son of the Jerry Bruckheimer production had a hand in this. Because it was interesting, because it was from the point of view of a cop. Then we have the Descent. I don't have the sequel because the sequel is a very shitty sequel, and the main character from this here dies. So I'm not bothering of getting the sequel. Then we have George A. Romero's Diary of the Dead. Then we have Dino Shark, which also the one that stars Eric Balfour from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake. Which produced by Roger Corman. Then we have DNA, starring Mark Dacascos, really enough. I thought, an action hero star I do enjoy, Mark Dacascos, which he was in John Wick 3, which I thought he was good in that film too. But yeah, DNA. Then with my all-time favorite werewolf movie, Dog Soldiers. Review this. Love this film. It's my all-time favorite werewolf film. I love Dog Soldiers. Then I ranted about this one a while back. Dogs, which to me, Cujo is much better. Even probably say the Pack from 1977 is much better. Dogs. Next they have Don't Breathe. Drag Me to Hell. Yeah, would like to go to hell for this. I'll rant on this one day on this. Then we got Drive Through. A favorite vampire film, but not. It's one of my favorites, but it is not my favorite. But it is my top 3 favorite films. But From Dusk Till Dawn. They got the sequel, Texas Blood Money. Then you got Eight-Legged Freaks. One of the most underrated Arnold Schwarzenegger films, End of Days. It's definitely one of his most underrated ones. The times you see Arnold in a horror film, I enjoy this film. Gabriel Byrne, I thought he did a good job as the devil. And I enjoy End of Days. Then we got the first Evil Dead, Evil Dead 2, which I still don't have Army of Darkness, though, but I like Army of Darkness. But I'm about to still to get it though. Then I talked about this one before. I love this film, and especially, when I reviewed the Resident Evil with Paul W.S. Anderson, Event Horizon. Like I said, it's like a ghost ship in outer space, haunted house or in outer space, but I love Event Horizon. Paul W.S. Anderson, wish he could do more films like these, because I like Soldier, I like Mortal Kombat, but I think it's pretty much say it's my favorite film of his. I love Event Horizon. And then we have, which is the guy from the director of the Blair Witch Project, Exists, about Bigfoot, which I enjoyed. Oops. So excited, I was trying to hit the camera. Next, into another franchise. The Exorcist one, the franchise. So we got the first one, which rest in peace, Max von Sydow plays Father Merrin. I don't love this film. I still think it's an okay film, but at the same time I do respect it. Like I said with the original Night of the Living Dead, I don't love the film, but I do respect that film for what it was. Because if it wasn't for Night of the Living Dead and George A. Romero, we wouldn't have the zombie films that we have of today. So that's why I respect that film. And at the same time, I do respect the first Exorcist film. It's more like I say the same for that. So I do respect the first one. And I did meet Linda Blair. I did one of my meeting celebrity videos. I did meet Linda Blair. And Max von Sydow, who just passed away recently. Rest in peace. Then we got the bad sequel, The Heretic, which is, I don't know why James Earl Jones is in this. But then we have The Exorcist 3, which is, to me, I think is the best one of this whole franchise, Exorcist 3. I think I recall Sam Jackson had an appearance in this as well. And also starring George C. Scott. But I love Exorcist 3. Then we have the 2 versions of the prequels. First, the one that Randy Harlan directed, Exorcist: The Beginning, and then the other one, Dominion, prequel to The Exorcist. I ranted on this one, but I haven't reviewed this one yet, though. But if I did, I would prefer this one over this one. So you get 2 different versions, though, but I prefer this one. Then we have The Eye. And this one, another underrated Sylvester Stallone film, which is I can say the only horror film he starred in. ICU, or go by its other title, Detox. I enjoy ICU. One of more Stallone's underrated ones, like I said. closely he gets for just only being in a horror film. Underrated, one of those more underrated films. Then we have, get into this, the first Feast film. That's the only good one. And the two sequels are not that good at all. No. Still should only made it with the first one. Then we get to the Final Destination franchise. 1, 2, which means that's the only good one after that. And the sequels are not so much, but with 3, 4, and 5. Then we have The Final Girls, which is I thought was a good one, because take like Last Action Hero, you know, a movie within a movie, but it's an action film. Same thing with this, you know, a movie within a movie, but it's a horror film. Like Last Action Hero, but a horror film. Then we got Flight of the Living Dead. The 6 remakes of David Cronenberg's The Fly, which is a classic too. Review this one, but yeah, classic. And then another great John Carpenter film that my parents both enjoyed, The Fog, another great ghost film as well. And then of course the very shitty remake of The Fog. And then we got Frailty with Matthew McConaughey and Bill Paxton. Rest in peace, Bill Paxton. And then we have Frankenfish, from the director of Spawn. And then we get to, which I'm gonna end this part here, which is getting to the Friday the 13th franchise. So hope you enjoyed this first part here of my DVD collection. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next one of part 2.